Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I know I haven't been around for a while. I haven't been around probably 2 months, is it 3 months? And there is a reason for that. I may go into that in another video. But what basically happened was I broke my arm. I had to have an operation. So I was out for a couple of months. But now we're back and stronger than ever before. So like and subscribe and comment down below if you agree with what I'm saying in this video, and if you think football is coming home this year. I'm wearing my shirt in support of my country. It's coming home, it's coming home. Let's get into the video. So here we are, and this is the table at which I'll be doing my predictions today. So the first game of the round of 16 is Belgium versus Portugal. Now this is a very big game. They're two very strong sides. Now you've got Belgium with players like Kevin De Bruyne, they've got Qatar in goal, they've got Meunier, they've got Lukaku, you've got Portugal with players like Diogo Jota, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Bruno Fernandes, and the reason to why I'm going to predict this team to win is just because the other team I feel like is getting a bit too old, and they've had their chances and they haven't taken them to win a major tournament when they've had their golden generation. So personally, I believe that the first team that will get through out of this lot to the quarter-final will be Portugal. Purely just because Belgium, I feel, have had their chance and they haven't taken it before, and I feel like Portugal will be more desperate, more hungry. They played well against Hungary, they played well against France. Yeah, they didn't play well against Germany, but I feel like they'll bring it to the table against Belgium. So, for the next one, who's playing Portugal in the quarter-final is Italy or Austria. Now, personally, I feel like this is a very easy game to predict, and I may be wrong. Austria may prove me wrong, but personally, I think it's very likely that Italy will win this game. If you just look at their front three, for example, players like Immobile and Insigne, their back line, they've got Chiellini, Bonucci, yes they're old, but they're very experienced as well, they play at the top level still, and so personally for that reason I believe that Italy will be the ones who play Portugal in the quarter-final. So, for the next game of the round of 16, we have France versus Switzerland. Now, this one's a bit more difficult, but personally I think France are going to win this just because of the amount of experience and brilliant players they have. For example, N'Golo Kante, they have Pogba in midfield who always performs for France. You have Kylian Mbappe, who's one of the best players in the world at the minute. And then you have solid defenders like Kimpembe. And I think France honestly could win it with their B team. They have such a good squad depth. And so I personally believe that France will beat Switzerland in order to get to the quarterfinals. And then for the next game we have Croatia versus Spain. Now this one's a bit harder to predict because Croatia haven't been on good form, but neither have Spain. Spain have had a bit of a weird group stage because they drew both of their games against Poland and Sweden, even though with Sweden I think they had 75% possession and managed to draw 0-0. And so, but then they beat Slovakia 5-0. So Croatia, yeah, they didn't play well against England, or they didn't play well against Czech Republic because they drew Czech Republic and lost with England. They did play well against Scotland. And did you see Modric's goal? I mean, if Modric can help them, then they could have a chance of beating Spain. But personally, the more likely outcome of this, and I don't want to always go for the favourite of this game, of these games, but I personally think it will be Spain who get the win here. Just because they'll probably dominate possession. Croatia have been poor in the group stage. Yeah, they beat Scotland, but they're going to need a big top performance to beat Spain. Now, for the next quarter-final game, we've got Sweden or Ukraine. Most people would probably say that Sweden are going to win this game. However, I disagree. I think Ukraine could win. They have players like Yarmolenko, who did really well against Netherlands. He scored a screamer against them. They've got Zinchenko, who's brilliant at defensive duties, and he is a very good captain for the team as well. So personally, I think that Ukraine will win because of this reason, and I feel like Sweden then don't really like to dominate possession, but they could get through, they could not, but I personally think Ukraine will have a better performance on the day and will beat Sweden. Now for the next one, the one we all care about, Lee. I'm not sure who's going to win, but Germany are looking very strong. England kept a clean sheet all through the group stage. So you know what? Because I'm an England fan, it's coming home, you know? Let's put England through to the next one. And for the second to last one, we've got Netherlands versus Czech Republic. And Netherlands have brilliant players like Memphis Depay and Dumfries, who've been scoring lots of goals for them as well. You never know, they could let in a few goals against Czech Republic, because Czech Republic have quite very good players like Souček and Kufal, who both play for West Ham, and so they could win it on the day. But personally, I do think that Netherlands will manage to win. I reckon it'll be a high scoring game though, because Netherlands aren't very good at defensive duties. But Czech Republic, they might get a goal or two, but Netherlands will overall probably get the most. And for the last game of the group stage, we have Wales versus Denmark, and this is a difficult game. Denmark have very good players. For example, they've got a brilliant captain like Kasper Schmeichel in goal, and we've got Christensen at centre back, who's been doing brilliantly for Chelsea, did brilliantly in the Champions League final. However, Wales, you've got Gareth Bale, you've got Daniel James, who's really fast. You've got those type of players as well, who have been performing really well. They only lost 1-0 to Italy, they beat Turkey 2-0, and they drew to Switzerland, so they have a fair chance of winning this game. So personally, I think that Wales might just come on top of this game. I think it'll be close, but I think Wales will come out with the win. For the quarter-final predictions, first of all we have Portugal versus Italy. Now, as we said before, Portugal have a lot of good players, but however they did win it in 2016. They could win it again, but personally I think Italy have been performing brilliantly. They're one of only 2 teams to keep a clean sheet all throughout the group stage, and for that reason I just feel like they will have more than enough to be able to beat Portugal. Yes, Portugal have brilliant players, but Italy have amazing, and not just amazing players, but they played so well in their group stage. They'll have the confidence, they'll have the desire. I just personally think they'll win, and they'll be our first semi-final. Now for the next game, France versus Spain. This one I do feel is a bit easier than the last one, because France, they always do well. They've got a really strong team. Spain, they've got an alright team. They do alright, drawing to teams like Sweden and Poland. I just don't think they'll come out on top against France. So for that reason, I'm going to have France as our second semi-final. And for the next quarter-final, we have Ukraine versus England. And of course, I've got to support my own country. So for that reason, I believe England will win against Ukraine, and Harry Kane will score a hat-trick. And for the last quarter-final, we have Netherlands versus Wales. And Wales, as I've said before, have quite a few good players. The Netherlands, their attacking threat is just so key. I just believe that they'll beat Wales, and that they'll go through to the semi-final and be against England for the semi-final of the Euros. Okay, now for our first semi-finalist, Italy versus France. Now Italy will fancy this game a lot. It's a very difficult game. France have a very strong team. Italy have a lot of momentum at the minute. I believe, and yes, you may disagree, but I believe that Italy will come out on top and beat France to get to the final of the Euro 2020. And finally, a huge game of England versus the Netherlands. Now, 1996, England had a brilliant game against the Netherlands. I think in the round of 16, I might be wrong there. So, could it come back again, and could we beat Netherlands to go to the final of the Euros? I think maybe even for the first time. Could that happen? I'm not sure. And if it does, I think it will happen. I think we'll have the momentum. If we can beat Germany, if we can beat Ukraine, we will be able to beat the Netherlands. And for that reason, I'm putting England as the second finalist for Euro 2020. Now, overall, we've got Italy or England. If I'm being honest, I think that Italy will win the Euro 2020 and England will not. As much as it pains me to say it, because I really want England to win, of course, as anyone does, but I personally think that the Italian side is just too strong, and we probably won't be able to cope, and we'll lose it in the final. But however, we will have had a brilliant tournament if this actually happens, so we will all be proud as English fans. And in the past 4 years, we would have got to the semi-final of the World Cup and the final of the Euro, so that will still be brilliant. And maybe it may come home in the 2022 World Cup. You never know. So for that reason, let's put that as Italy. And Italy are the Euro 2020 winners. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment down below which team do you think will get through and win the Euro of 2020, the Euros of 2020. And so, thanks for watching, and